What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be touching on some optics. But specifically going to be focusing on the Cyelee optics, right? I just did a live shooting review of the Wolf X Pro over on my main channel, which would be this optic right here that's cut for an RMR on my Glock 26. Now this is a Glock 26 Gen 3, and after that video, you know, we're shooting out in 0-degree weather basically, and this optic just performed so well. This optic was out there for about 5 hours in the cold, in the snow, in the conditions, and it just ran and ran and ran like it always does. Now, this one right here has about 6,000 rounds through it, this Cyelee Wolf X Pro. And this has actually become one of my main carry Glock 26s as of recently. And then I also have a Cyelee Wolf X Pro on a Glock 26 MOS that surpassed 8,000 rounds maybe a couple months ago, but I haven't really shot that handgun again since, really. So a lot of people saw that video and they were wondering, what are the differences between Cyelees and Holosuns? Is one better than the other? Why do I always go with so many Cyelees? Why do I have some Holosuns? And that whole sort of thing. So we're basically just going to go over a couple of them and check them out and just look at them side by side. Then right here is a Glock 26. This lower has over 14,000 rounds. This is a whole new slide for it and a new Glock 19 barrel just for better performance and accuracy and all that. And then up top we have a Holosun 507C. Now there are going to be some differences between the two and we're going to touch on them. So let's get into it. Right here we're going to look at just size, okay? So slide to slide. You can see that the Cyelee is just a tad bit taller and about the same width, but look at how much bigger the window is. You see the window on it? Here's the window on the Holosun. Here's the window on the Cyelee. So the Cyelee has a better window. You can also see the glass is maybe a little bit darker, which I feel like is a little bit better in sunlight, whereas the Cyelee or the Holosun is a little bit clearer. Also, you got to keep in mind this is a red dot. This one's green, so they are going to look different. But you can see size-wise, you have a much larger window on the Cyelee. Then we're going to come up top, and you can see that as far as the support goes for your overall optic, you're going to have more on the Holosun. It's a little bit more rounded off, and just has a little bit more meat to it, right? This one's a little bit smaller on the Cyelee. Also, the Cyelee takes a battery, but when you're talking about optics and battery life, the Cyelees, obviously, they turn off when you're not moving, right? Once I set this down for 5 minutes, it's going to shut off. The second I start moving again, it's already on. So, it's basically a shake-awake system. So on the left, the Holosun will never run out of batteries because it uses that solar panel system, right? It takes in light and emits that dot, basically charges up and so on. Whereas the Cyelee has a side port battery. So you're not removing anything here, which is really nice because sometimes you'll scratch up here. And on top of that, you're not going to ever have to remove the optic in order to change the battery. And it comes with every tool you need, all the screws, everything you could imagine to change that out, and some extra batteries. So I have yet to have to change out a battery in any of my Cyelees. And I have about 60 Cyelees at this point. I've never had to change a single battery. Now, the Cyelee is a little bit smaller, like I said. Now, let's bring it up top again. You can see that the overall width of the Holosun is a little bit thicker up top, right? Versus the Cyelee up here. But also, you can see the design. The design of the Cyelee is a little bit more squared off, whereas the Holosun is rounded off. I don't think that matters too much for impact. Both are built really well and durable. When you look at the sidewalls, the Cyelee is actually thicker with the larger window, which is very interesting. And we'll touch on why that is. The Holosun is thinner here, but gets thicker in the middle, and so on. Overall, like I said, you can't go wrong with either of these optics. They're both great. And if you want to get a Cyelee, you can use code SPN for 10% off. That's code SPN for 10% off. The best I can do for Holosun is code SPN for 5% off over at Optics Planet. That's the best I can do. But as you can see, I really like Cyelees for the price. I think they are the best optic out there for the money. I have a Cyelee Bear that has been beat to crap in my Glock 23 Woods gun, and that thing just runs and runs and runs and runs and runs. It's basically all the black paint is getting scraped off, and it still keeps going. So I feel like the Cyelee is built a little bit tougher, a little bit more durable on the side walls. Now, overall height, right, from the sides. Cyelee is a little bit taller like we talked about, and also look at the shape of it. Sort of has a pretty cool looking shape to it. Also, the Holosun looks pretty nice too. Nothing against either one. Now, adjusting is going to be the same. You know, on the right side is going to be your right to left, and in the middle is going to be your up and down. I've had no issues with either of them in terms of, losing zero or anything like that. And like I said, my Cyelee Bear has been beat to crap, and there's not a single time where it was not zero. Now we come over to the left side. The Holosun has its buttons on the base, whereas the Cyelee is going up and down, which is probably part of the reason why they added a little bit more meat to the sides. Also, you got a little texturing here, which is nice for if you do have to rack your slide, where, you know, using your optic, which you can do, no problem. Overall, I think they're both great. It all depends on what color you want. If you want green, you can get it for the Cyelee. If you want red, personally, I've been liking red lately. I used to really like green, but red has been my thing. And I really like Cyelee optics. I don't know what to say. They're just, you know, maybe a year and a half ago, a year ago, people are always talking down, saying they're crap, they're cheap pieces of crap, they're Chinese made. Well, Holosun's Chinese made too. But since then, I've had the opportunity to run 60 plus of them. I've also gifted them as gifts to people because they're affordable optics and everyone wants an optic. And not a single person has had any issues whatsoever. Has really clean glass, even though I need to clean it as it's getting pretty gunked up from our last trip to the range. Not a big deal though. Yeah. Now let's just check one more thing. In terms of co-witness. Now obviously here I have suppressor height sights from XS on the right and suppressor height sights from Amerigo on the left. Both of them you can sort of co-witness with regular height sights. You can see these shorter ones just get a bit over, whereas over here these are just massive. The Cyelee has a cutout though in the middle so that you can co-witness, whereas the Holosun does not have that little cutout. If you see right here for the Cyelee, it's got this tad little bit notched out in the middle. If you can see that. And that allows you to just get your regular OEM heights sights, right? Even though I do prefer getting suppressor height sights, these are just massive. They take up half your window, whereas these, you know, take up the lower third, which is typically what you want. But like I said, I love this setup. This setup has become one of my favorite setups to run. It's my Carry Glock 26 now, and I trust Cyelee to the max. Like I said, code SPN on Cyelee's website. It'll get you 10% off as many products as you want. As many Cyelees to come, and the best part about it is their customer service. They truly back their product, and they truly take care of their customers. If you have an issue, just send it in. I'm sure you'll be getting a brand new dot. You honestly can't beat Cyelees. And Holosuns, like I said, they're definitely great too. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, guys.